in order to figure out what we need to do to keep my position more reliable to its orders is, we can just make more orders, and it's pretty much part of the promotion of the day as you get to 2022 of March to June to September to November to December, and you add those months up in the 76% involvement, being able to collect more than $300, $376, being able to collect those amounts is pretty much what you was needing to promote more for your financial stability as to what you do on your daily basis. So that's just getting interpreted with the Ford Fusions compounds that you see after seeing the 314 model versus the 3727 compound that they have of those vehicles, and knowing the Fusion for itself, as a car and as a model and as a vehicle as well. So it's pretty much, as more of the digital detail of those configurations, you're looking for majority of your procedure of vehicle at that time. So that's pretty much as you look at those types of deals. And the difference is, you working from Inco from you're working from Inco to um, you're working from Inco to Eco Herb 747 and Catfish Industries, and that's pretty much where you're doing those orders, and proceeding orders like you normally would on a average day, or but except that other than that fact, you're doing it in an advanced way, which is where you're making a lot of money and you bringing in a lot of money, and that's pretty much where you're bringing in at least $3,725 to make a combo benefit for at least 486 people. So that's pretty much where you're able to add that extra protein portions that come in after dad's 3650 dimensions, and pretty much working with a multi-count of dimensions as you get more impassioned with combining like terms, separation of powers, and bill of rights at the time. So that's already focused on 376 objectives and Mr. Catfish. So that's pretty much being a part of the career at that time. So it's pretty much as you share your fusion and passion, you have more taught mindset of where to use, instead of using a Chrysler 300 or a Charger. They're damn near the same car, so that's gonna mess with your defects. More often, as you wanted a Chrysler when you had a Charger, and you had a Charger when you wanted a Chrysler. So that's pretty much effects of trying to figure out the right agricultural vehicle for you, that you live within your state and not your local town. So that's pretty much living within a higher colony at the time, as you focusing more on hill country or ball cones or Dick Nichols, figuring out your way around your semester traits and your trails of honors, being able to grade yourself based off of what you did in your past, other than be a very successful financial person. Being able to be more attentive to your business casuals is pretty much what you want to do to promote more for your $38 million investment at the time. So that's pretty much where you're using more of 3,800, and you're spending 3,800 371 times, or 3771 times, and being able to make more of a PMC2 squared for that, as you make an extended term for that. And that's basically what they call it at the time. So that's being able to know more about your extended term, and being able to know more about what they do at PMC2 squared. So you learning what they do at PMC2 squared, and that's pretty much where you working on different subscriptions based off of that. So with that, you working with Adobe characteristics, Vivo ratios, Vine coordinates, T-Mobile accounts, Comcast Excel ratios, Granger resource dimensions, Jackson Hewitz Volkswagen 9732, Liberty Mutual Cherokee Blaster 7232. Then you just figuring out different coordinates, whether it's a positive negative or negative positive, or even a positive positive at the time, which is meaning for a very wealthy dimension at the time. So it's pretty much where you want to be able to use less of that, and use a moderate field of it as you bring a good idea and a good organization to hand. And that's pretty much where you want to use that positive demand. And the thing about it is, you can create whatever you want, but you are in other occupations. So you got to be able to be diverse with your occupational beliefs at the time. So being able to be diverse, full of what you want to be when you grow up, as far as an occupational assistant. And the thing about that is everybody has to have a job, no matter what the detail is. And that's just the thing we've been trying to get down since 1936 of 2056. So it's pretty much a hard detail, especially when you're going through hard, exhausting days, and you got endurance and blood pressures and blood sugars and carbohydrates acting up, whether you're too full or not full at all, or you're going through your moderate disasters at the time. So it's pretty much where you're working with these types of fields, and you have these types of resources to promote for at the time. So it's pretty much where you're using those data details, and using those acceptances of those types of common details. So other than that, who else uses coordinates and ratios is Penske. That's pretty much Penske coordinates, which uses ratios as well, at least 74 44 of them. So it's pretty much expanding the coverage of T-Mobile's accounts list. So it's pretty much where you're using T-Mobile accounts to promote more for positive coverage within Elizabeth Ney to Anderson Mill to Dick Nichols to Ball Cones to Brentwood and to Bartholomew as well. So it's pretty much working with not only Amazon, not only Restaurant Depot, not only the tax office, not only aquatics, but enterprise as well. And it's pretty much working with those details as well, as it confiliates or confirms different areas of coordinates with those strategic measurements on. So I was just working on district coordinator of 761 different W4s at the time, as I focus on my aquatic director field in aquatics at the time. So it's just still working at the office. You're working with your 76 different members that was there 2014 to 2022. So it's just being able to work with those years, and be able to accommodate more of a Red Cross examination of where you've been and how you've been intensifying your strategies, as far as knowing how to cooperate with your assistants or your advocates or your advisors at the time. So that's just working with the whole organization already, coming from EcoLeaf multi-platforms or EcoLeaf mega platforms. And it's pretty much just working with a bunch of collegiate scholarship and financial work, being able to work with different dimensions of a local state in this area. So it's being able to be recommended as a U.S. representative towards one company and one company only that makes those types of opposition. So, that's working with at least 37, 57 miles away from my position. But, with that being the mission of the program, I can be able to send him an Outlook post, whether it's Outlook or T-Mobile. You're able to make a good accomplishment within the networks. And, it's pretty much being able to upgrade and enhance and benefit from the T-Mobile accounts list. So, this is at least working with 336 people or clients, or, even passengers at the time of Z71 ceremonies, being able to know about the ceremonies, the assemblies, knowing about ceremonies, assemblies, and press conferences is pretty much what I'm into, as far as knowing, squares from compounds. And, that's pretty much what we learn on our normal day, instead of just kinesiology or, American history at the time. So, it's pretty much what we're doing on the side of just looking at movies. So, it's teaching you a whole lot about economics, and, teaching a lot about government. So, it's pretty much the insight of the major that you study in 1936 to 2037. So, it's just pretty much working with the first start of how you interact with newer people from 371 other countries. So, it's pretty much where you're looking at a different diverse division for my, you're looking for a specified program for my diverse divisions at the time. So, in my division, I have at least 756 other divisions. That's just in my positions at Sam Houston as an occupation. So, that's just being able to be a student, and being able to be active as far as a service member, or one of those because then again, it could go again to tax collector. And, that's pretty much what I've been since 2044, when you're looking at the local city versus the national state in Sam Houston. So, that's pretty much where you're looking at the different details of the situation of 1996 and 2026. So, that's just been deferred and diversified by aquatics of at least 376 pools. So, it's being able to download and get the cool stuff, running for it. So, it's pretty much working with my specs of divisions, and, being able to work with at least 47% of, what I intrigue and, everybody knowing, what I believe everybody should know at the time. That's pretty much working from 2006 to 2022, and, being able to know what that is, that staying on the line or staying on that particular path does to you. So, that's looking at Suncoast Resources, Granger, Penske Coordinates. You're looking at the same type of trial and error, whether it's a court case or a transaction done by a commercial property at the time. That's pretty much what we're learning in 2026 to 2036. And, we're being able to display that in 21, 22 to 22, 21 to 2195. And, that's pretty much where we're making a more affiliate vote for what we want, and, what we want to increase in, because that's just out of $376 right there. So, that's pretty much making your mind up out of $333 million in trans tax. $50 million versus $390. So, that's pretty much $390 million. So, that's pretty much where you're working with those details at Inco, Eco Herb 747 and Catfish Industries, which is all sponsored by taking care of itself. So it's pretty much using 38,000 to purchase $12,000 in supplies, which is going out for wholesale and invoice. And it's being able to make more for the prominent application of you making 396 orders. So being able to fill in a more synchronized, a more synchronized method for you know for the tax reference. You got to make a more synchronized effort for the tax reference. Just because you want the political audience to get the gimmick, get the gimmick of the day. You want them to have as much fun be as much intrigued as possible. And the thing about that is you can't control the whole 971 hours. So it's looking at yellow, red, and green efforts of 28 hours, 36 hours, and 46 hours. So whatever I'm doing is pretty good at what, even if I'm not there. So it's pretty much just working with the accommodations of the passion that's been there 37, 45, 32 months. So it's pretty much just working with that every 5 years. So with that being said, we're working with at least 20 years ahead of the time. So that's working with 12 times as well. So working with 12 times, and that's part of the time where you're doing your multiplication. And if my dad says I can do that, then I would have no problem doing that. That's pretty much what I do as a young star as well. So it's being able to know more about what my promotion promotes at the time. So other than it just being shrimp, it could be catfish, it could be gumbo, it could be po' boys, it could be macaroni, it could be greens, it could be gumbo, it could be red beans, it could be catfish strips, chicken tenders, chicken wings, gizzards. The most primary vote is pretty much what we're looking for after we spend 37, 47 months about that every 5 years. So it's pretty much where we're working on a demographical plane of green, blue, and orange, which is tax reference for Catfish Industries. And Catfish Industries having up to about 9732 duplicates of that formula is pretty much where you're making more reference to Catfish Industries stock exchange, and it being fair part of its stock trade investment that goes in at Mr. Catfish and More. So it's pretty much working with my 9.1 statistic, and it's pretty much working with 90,000 a year investment as you focus more on subscriptions like ADP, or even you go with ADP, you go with Adobe, you can go with Google, you can go with Frost. And it's just pretty much just making up your own pattern of ways at that time as you spend more for 1970 to 2002 to 2003 to 2015, and being able to know more about the grad honor scholar of your everyday jurisdiction of between Burnett, BetaCheck, you're using those everyday hotspot connections of T-Mobile accounts. It's pretty much where you follow in a different district. So it's pretty much a different tyranny of color as you get that national abbreviance of how to get your phone on and how you get it paid for and how to get it situated to where you can comprehend more about the facts of those situations. Just because all of T-Mobile is Eco Herb 747, so it's pretty much where you're using 90% of T-Mobile's capacity. Something that they would talk about on their yearly advancements. just because it's part of Sears, Sam's, Target, just because it's involved in those retail stores, that's at least $98,000 of interest, that you have to use other than, paying for it at the store. That's not something that you would pay for at the store. So, it's pretty much using indivisible rates to sustain things. So, that's pretty much where you're using that whole itinerary at, that you use more for your mobile authorizer. So, it's pretty much working with 976 different propositions as far as that go, and working with Sprint of T-Mobile's worldwide group, whether it's a state or communication of a sort. So, it's pretty much where Sprint handles the states, and T-Mobile handles the economy of the states. And that's pretty much what we're learning after, knowing, 976 of us know more about that common state of common economies of the time. So, that's just basically looking at U.S. government of 9,800 subscriptions at the time, as you get more towards Denali, more towards Charger, more towards Denali, more towards Charger, more towards Maserati, Lexus. You got Mazda in there as well, Nissan. You just thinking of all different kind of subscriptions that you would like to be in, depending on Amy's Ice Cream and In and Out. It's pretty much looking at In and Out and being a subscriber of In and Out. So that's about 971 dimes of how you create 1971 of 2018. So it's pretty much where you're using those adaptations of Christmas cheers, and being able to know about 19 years of advancement that goes to 2020 to 2024. So it's just being able to get started with 946-hour advancements at the hour, and you're using 946 different methods of traditions, and it's pretty much using $376 in 10 flats. So it's pretty much using PMC2 squared again, and that's pretty much where you're using at least 276 different subscriptions and dimensions and propositions of. So it's pretty much as you have something to share and something to describe something on, and something to add a diverse series of ways that you can promote out of your city tyranny, coming from Pickle to TCS, in that area at the time. So it's pretty much working with those dimensions of Pickle to TCS to Frost. You might want to go to Frost sometimes and be able to account $971.41. So it's pretty much just working with 2007 of 2018, and dealing with the profile documents as far as getting to know one another, and being able to know the greetings and more of the introduction, a way of how to make an assignment for ourselves. So it's pretty much working with $971 for every introduction that I've had in the past. So that's at least $300,000 that I've spent on probable cause of 776 different gallons of juice at the time. So it's pretty much working on gallons of 561 gallons of representation. Knowing more about the tax reference, and being able to know more about voter registration. So it's just working with 986 different voter registration from 1971 to 2024, and working with the Buick of the Maserati, Lexus, or Nissan. So, it's pretty much working with 1976 to 2024 at the time. So, that's purple, orange, and green statistics and tyrannies at the time. So, other than that, you are working with 946 results, and that's pretty much where you're getting, more classification for, diversity of honors at the time, as eating something different every choice that you make. So, that's pretty much using a free enterprise situation of 976% being happening 40 times, 86 times, 96 times. So, the thing about it is, the thing that makes my dad's restaurant more more opportunity, more advanced in opportunity and what makes my dad's commercial property more optical of opportunity is, you get to eat, and it's being able to eat worth of $200. Making sure you got $200 to $3,000 in your pocket is pretty much what you want to do to eat, majority of your food at the time. So, you want to be able to spend $246 and be able to know that by region of hand at the time. So, it's working with 3727 codes at the time. It's pretty much you picking out a code and, being able to describe that to Eco Herb, Eco Leaf, and Austin Code, and, even more towards, PMC2 squared, as they make more promotions toward 36, 96, and 86 different signs of promotions that come from 746 different subscribers. It's pretty much just working with 9:06 a.m. in the morning to 9:06 p.m. in the evening. So, that's pretty much where you're working with the whole detail of 276 hours a week. So, that's pretty much where you're working with 36 hours, 76 hours, 46 hours, 486 times. So, it's pretty much using yellow, red, and green statistics of enterprise interscopes at the time, as we get more for Austin Aquatics, more for Austin Aquatics, more for Restaurant Depot, more for tax office, and more for enterprise as well. So, it's pretty much working with those types of details to promote more for the individual subscriptions that are in between the minor defects of the situation. So, all that is just working with Canon and the camera technology and solutions like that. So, it's pretty much all in the hand, it's all mechanical. So, it's pretty much all we want at that time.